Hello everyone, I'm Havoc, and this is Minecraft All the Mods 3, and we are back at it again today. We're going to do a few things. I'm still thinking about block types for building, so I've been looking around at different options, and I really like the path, I believe it's called, yes. The tiled stone path from Blood Magic, but in order to get to this, we need at least a Magician's Orb, or that's an Archmage. But the Magician's Orb requires a tier 3. Let's see, hold on. Yeah, the Magician's Orb is the lowest tier one you can use. That's right. So it requires at least a tier 3 Blood Altar and a block of gold and 25,000 LP in the system. Now, I'm going to go over how all of that works. The sun is going down, and we're going to need some stuff for when the sun goes down, and that's going to be snares. These snares are the first step towards getting into the Blood Magic mod. And what we're going to do here is as soon as it gets dark, we're going to smack mobs right in the forehead with these snares, and then we're going to kill them in order to obtain their demonic will. If you have read any into Blood Magic lore in the past, then you may know what this is all about. But I'll give you a quick rundown while it's starting to get dark. This is the book, the Sanguine Scientium, however you pronounce that. I'm terrible at pronouncing things, but that's okay. And this goes over and has these little story arcs, and it's actually an exceptionally good mod, and it has really good story to it. But I'm not going to read all of that to you. If you are interested, feel free to grab the book and start delving into it. I'll just kind of give you a brief overview. When you start getting into it, the people that the book is following are studying what animates the zombies and the skeletons and what gives them life, what gives them reason for moving and going after you and attacking you, and why they're even here. And you come to find out that they have a demonic will is what essentially gives them purpose or willpower in order to animate the bodies and cause them to go after you. And you're going to need that to get started in Blood Magic. And these snares are a magical construct that allows you to extract the will from a mob when you kill it. But you have to hit them with a snare until they start having this white particle effect, like they drank a potion or something along those lines. We're going to move away from our village, though, our mine colony, and try and do this somewhere away from them. I don't want them to be attacked or anything while I'm trying to fool around with these mobs. And it has to be aggressive mobs to get demonic will. You can't get it from sheep or other things. Obviously, they're not demonic. Oh, usually they're not demonic. So what we're going to do here is look for something on the mini-map. I think an Enderman will work, and I see one right over here somewhere. Is he underground? Yes. That's okay, we can easily get to him. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's why Endermen don't work. Because they just teleport away when you throw the snare at them. So we'll try and find a zombie, which shouldn't be hard. It is getting dark. Here we go. So if you throw it at it, no particle effects. There we go. Now we can kill him. You can kill him with any weapon, and you get the demonic will. And the demonic will has a quality value. You'll see the will quality. The higher that is, the better. I don't think it's going to be very high for monsters that you're just out killing out here. It can be in between 0 and like 5, I think, is the highest, but you're not really going to see much 5 on the scale. You're going to see many, many more of the 1s or less than 1s in my experience. Where are these zombies at? I'm seeing them on the mini-map. I guess they're underground. Why aren't there any popping up above ground? Let's travel. There are some plains in this direction. And it will be easier to... Whoa, somebody's building something over here. Just stumbled right onto a very interesting looking base. Or construction. I'm fairly certain I know exactly who's building this. Someone that I play with frequently. Usually builds out of cobblestone to begin with while they're plotting out what their base is going to look like. Alright, here we go. We're in a plains-ish biome. This is close to spawn. But this is also where we can find mobs. Let's see if we can get the creeper will, and let's look at his. 3.61. So I think the mob class or difficulty or whatever, like a creeper is more dangerous than a zombie. So I think that has an effect. Whoa. Hey, buddy. I'm going to use you. Oh, you fell into the... You can fly now! He fell into the mana pool. Oh, that's not good. A creeper that can fly too. Alright, well, we got him. Those are not the right particles. Those are the mana particles. But I need him... Goodness. It's taking a lot of snares. Alright, we're not going to worry about the baby zombie. You're probably not even worth a lot of demonic will anyways. Let's find something like the creepers were definitely a good source of it. If I can get it to work. Oops, I didn't mean to throw those extra ones. 3.6, 1.9. What can we get from you? If you craft something such as we're going to craft the demonic altar with demonic will, it's not going to matter how much will you use, and I'm out of the snares. Okay. But when you're crafting something that uses a demonic will, you want to use your lowest value one, because it's not going to count that towards anything. Let's go ahead and sleep, and then we'll go back to our base. We can just use the command /home. And we're going to make the demonic altar. Oh, or is it just a blood altar? There we go, it's blood altar. And you see, it just says generic demonic will. It doesn't matter what it is. So you want to try and make sure that it uses your lowest value one, because the value will be important for later items that require a higher value. So we're just going to use the 1.38 and get our blood altar. This is step one. Now we need a sacrificial dagger. Dagger of sacrifice, I think is what it's called. Sacrificial dagger is when you take blood from yourself. A dagger of sacrifice is when you kill something else in order to get the LP, or life points, which is what this mod runs off of. Now, I'm just going to be doing it myself. I don't have a lot of mobs that I can just come over here and sacrifice right now. We can set something up eventually to do that, and that's definitely what you want to do, because this is not the best way to do it. Alright, don't want to kill myself. Now, we can see how much is in there because we have, what am I looking at, or Wayla up in the top center. But there's a way in the mod to tell exactly how much there is. And what you see going down right now is there's a, so it's got how much it holds in its tank, and then it has a small internal crafting buffer, which I think is a couple thousand, that it has to fill up first. So it'll fill that up and then fill up the tank. And what you're seeing is the 3,000 out of 10,000 is the tank itself, and it's draining to fill that little internal buffer. It's not just bleeding away and going into nothingness. So don't worry if you think it's not going to just empty out. It'll stop, and you see it's stopped. It has reached that internal buffer being full. Now we want as much in here as we can, and the first thing we're going to want to do is grab some stone, just regular stone, and you want to put one in at a time in order to make what are called runes. Slate, blank slate. And the blank slate we're going to use to make runes. Right here, blank slate. Now, you can do this manually, or you can do this with automation. And obviously, we want to automate this entire setup. So let me keep my health high. And what we're going to do is, if you try and put a stack into a chest and pump into this, it'll put the entire stack in. And this won't actually craft. What you need to do is do a limit. So we're going to get a filter. And what we want is a limited item filter, this. So there's a few stages. This requires a Z-Logic controller. So we need a zombie head, 2 solarium, some silicone. Let's see if we have those things. I have plenty of zombie heads, including one actually already in my inventory from killing them. I have looting on my laser gun, so that's not very hard. Solarium, we have 2 ingots. Then we need a redstone, and we need 2 silicone. So here's a redstone, 2 silicone. And that is what this slice and splice is for. It takes an axe and some shears and the ingredients, and it will craft us a Z-Logic controller. And it's got some really crazy looking graphics. Everything from the Ender IO mod just looks wonderful, in my opinion. Let's go back to filter. So we're going to make the advanced filter, and that requires what? Paper. That should not be a hard thing to come by. Filter. We need the advanced filter, and then we need 2 redstone comparators, and you make the limited item filter. And if you shift right click with this and pick one piece of stone up and put it in here, it now knows that you want 1 stone at a time. And then we need to grab item conduit. And it's very important that you set this to insert and you put this filter on the insert side. I'm telling it, I only want a single piece of stone in here at any given time. That's what that filter does. It says not only is it a stone block, but the amount is what I'm looking for too. A single piece. Let's grab a crate. And then we can set up extraction from here based off of a filter as well. So if I just set up extract always active, the moment stone comes in there, it's just going to pull the stone through. I don't want it to do that. I want it to wait for it to become a blank slate. So we need another filter. This one doesn't have to be anything special. A basic item filter, and I made 8 there on accident, will work just fine. And we're going to say, I want you to take blank slate out. Place that right in there, put it as always active. Now, this should take a single piece of stone, as soon as I put that as always active, and place it in here. And you see, there's 61, not 62. This is working. So now we just got to make sure that we keep it full on LP by eating and then pricking our finger, and it'll immediately move that over. And then it'll prop a stone in. We've automated this. Well, we've automated the processing of the slate, not fully automated it. We want to see, in fact, how much LP. It says it takes 1,000. Okay, and I think you get 200 every time you right-click with the dagger. So that means 5 clicks, which means 5 hearts. And I have 10 hearts plus another 10 from nutrition because we use Plowman's Lunch, which gives you 100% in all of the nutrition values, which gives you an extra set of hearts. This thing is just burning right through all of our LP, our life essence. So let's keep it topped off and not kill ourselves. It'd be very embarrassing to prick yourself to death with a dagger that you're in control of. Now, I want to get, let's see, I have to upgrade the altar itself. And for that you have to make the runes and surround them. And the runes take 2 slate apiece. Yes. Takes 2 slate apiece, and we have to make our very first blood orb, which we're going to make the weak one, which is just a diamond put into here. We'll do that after we have processed stone. And let's see, I also know that I don't need as much as I put in there. I need 16 to begin with. And we're going to run out of LP because I'm getting distracted. You always want to make sure that you wait for your saturation to go away completely, because that gives you as many heart points as you're going to get. Ooh, cutting it close. Let's see though, how many is that? 12. This one is going to be 13. 14, 15, 16. That'll be enough to make the initial runes that I need. So that's what we're going to focus on first. Let's try and get extra hearts. And keep an eye on this. There's enough for it to do one more real fast. Then we have one more after that one. You don't want to fill this thing up when you're about to make changes to it, change the tier, especially if you're going to, after you've already upgraded it some, you'll increase the capacity internally, and if you break a rune, you lose that capacity, and it's just gone. It's deleted. Whatever's in there over the minor capacity gets erased, and it's kind of sad. So it's something to remember and watch out for. And we needed a diamond in here with 2000 LP to make the weak blood orb. Just clean my inventory up a little bit there. And I also want to make sure that's L. I was looking for K. 2000. Okay. Making sure that I was not about to have an issue where I didn't have enough in here. I was fairly certain I did read 2000 earlier. This will allow us to make the runes and upgrade the altar. Now we've got to get to tier 3. That's a lot of runes and other items, but along the way we're going to be able to make things to improve this. So if I look at sacrifice, there are runes of self-sacrifice, and these will help us to get more LP every time we prick ourselves with the dagger. And that's definitely something you're going to want to do. That way you can conserve some food. And food's not really a problem for me, but it's more of you get more out of each time you do it. So now we need to put the blood orb, the blank slate, and then grab stone, put it on either side. We get our runes. Now, upgrading this thing right now isn't really going to help us until we can make the sacrifice runes. And these require reinforced slate, so we do actually have to go ahead and upgrade it, because you can't make the reinforced slate with a tier 1 altar. You have to upgrade it to a tier 2 to even be able to make that kind of slate. So now, this altar is a tier 2. You can't see that based off anything unless you make something called a divination sigil, which is going to require us to make arcane ashes and a whole nother section in the Hellfire Forge of the blood magic mod. I'm not worried about that just yet. I just want to get this thing operational and making us more slate. Now, we're going to need more runes in order to upgrade it, so we're going to go ahead and toss those in there. and figure out something to do some healing. We can make healing potions. There is the incense altar, which we can make here. This helps you by building a structure, and it's a multi-block structure that can be made out of a lot of different items, but it helps you to get more from sacrificing, more LP, and can help you with like regeneration and other features. Unfortunately though, I'm not recalling exactly how to build the structure just yet, and I don't want to look through the book real fast in order to figure that out. I would rather get some of this done. Specifically enough to get 4 runes of sacrifice. These corners don't count, so I need 4 runes of self-sacrifice. That's going to require 4 runes, and then, what was it, for these slate here, we're going to go ahead and make this no longer active on its own, so it's not going to extract from here, because I need to take these regular blank slates and upgrade them. And the new slate requires 2,000 LP. So it takes 1,000 to make the blank slate, then another 2,000 to make the reinforced slate, for a total of 3,000 altogether. But because I've already made some of the blank slates, I just need the additional 2,000. Let's go ahead and get us some more food out, because we are burning through it quite quickly. And you need an empty hand to take these things out. To take anything out of here without using a machine, you have to use your empty hand to right click on it. It's a fairly common Minecraft function. I was trying to think of how to say that. But all of this, again, is working towards making this a tier 3. And I'm trying to think, there's a book that you can use in order to see, is it, it's not in here. There's a book you can right click on this and it will show you what the altar is supposed to look like in order to help those that don't already know. I know what it's supposed to look like, so I can build it out. But what is it called? At blood magic. Let's see. I don't remember if it's, here it is. This one. You just put a book in here. Okay, so that's really easy to do. And I will show you guys that so that you can take advantage of this if you are learning and you're not aware of this mod, like how this mod works. These are very helpful tools for those that need to learn. Oh wow. That burnt through that very quickly. And when you see the black particles like it had there, it means it's out of LP and it's failing the craft you're trying to do. So you really want to work on that. So the next tier of blood altar is missing a solid block at such and such. Set to tier 2. Set to tier 3. Here we go. So this is not the best place to put it, so you can't really see what's going on. Let me, no, give me that. It's not what I wanted. Because it's pretty much empty, I'll go ahead and break it and not worry about it. But I'm going to move this so I can show you exactly what I was talking about. Altar, and then we're going to need runes. And we'll need some kind of block. So I can put it up in the air in order to show you. Now, you'll probably notice I tore everything down over here. I was working on building some different things, and I was thinking about the colony and how I want to expand it, and I do kind of want to use this area, so I kind of changed my mind about building right over here. It is a really good spot, and that's kind of why I want to use it for the mine colony too, because the mine colony's radius starts from the town hall, from that block right down here in the town hall, and then goes out in all directions. So it doesn't make sense to only build in front of the town hall, as I'll only be utilizing half of the area that I can. I do want to use behind the town hall as well, and that's going to be difficult if I build a tower over there. So I've decided instead I'm going to build over here. There's a mountain, which is pretty far away but still pretty close. I'm thinking about just building kind of right into the side of the mountain, and I'll have a really awesome view of my mine colony as I expand it. And I'll be able to utilize all the way around the town hall to build it and build up here out of the way, so my base can just be in this mountain. And I'll figure out how exactly I'm going to build inside of there eventually. And move out of my little cave that I have going over here. And let's, oh yes, I'll use this flat area right on top of here to show you what I'm talking about with the altar. So if you put it here, and then I say I want to make this thing a tier 3, show me what it needs to look like. And now you can see what it takes to make a tier 3. All of these are rune blocks, so I already have enough right up here to do what goes right around there. And what's underneath it doesn't matter. I can show you that if I just go under here and break the block. It doesn't require a block under there. You see the ghost blocks are showing. They're not showing a ghost block under here. It's not required. Now, this also block is not required right here. You're going to need something in order to build on top of it. But what you need are some stone bricks and glowstone. You can use any chiseled variant of this. So if you have something else, let's see. I don't know if mossy stone brick will work. That's something I haven't thought about. I don't know if that's considered a chiseled variant. I don't think it is. I think that's its own separate block type. But any form of this chiseled, so any of these work as this block right here. And you also probably noticed there that you can chisel stone brick back into stone. So I think stone might also work right here as this. And we need some glowstone blocks. Oh, why is that not working? Okay. Little bit of lag there. That's alright. This is running on a server, not on my computer here at my desk. So sometimes there's a little bit of lag back and forth. I just realized I got the filtering for dummies achievement earlier. Okay. We need, what is this? 5 and 4 sides. I need 20 more runes, and that will get this place down. However, I also need specific kinds of runes. As you've probably noticed, this only has an internal capacity of 10,000, but the orb that I'm going for, which is the Magician's orb, right here, requires 25,000. So how do you do that? It's very, very simple. We need capacity runes. Runes of capacity. These require imbued slate, and imbued slate can only be made with a tier 3 altar. So the first, just the blood altar, makes the blank slate, then you get reinforced once you make some runes and surround it and make it a tier 2, and then you get imbued once you have those extra runes and make this into a tier 3. So what I need to do is make a lot of these runes. And each one of these take 2 of the blank slate. So I need 40 blank slate up here. But what I want to do first is make these 4 runes into self-sacrifice runes to make this a little bit faster. So I want self-sacrifice runes. And I should probably be using this because it's telling me I can't craft it in my inventory because I don't have a 3x3 crafting area. Here we go. Let me put the orb in there. Oh, you have to have a better one than the weak orb, huh? So the apprentice one is pretty simple. You need your tier 2, put a block of redstone in. That's exactly what we're about to do. Let me have those runes back. It's been a little while. I'm a little rusty. Let's place these guys back. And then fill this thing up. Now, I could use a dagger of sacrifice, breed some animals up, put them over here and smack them with it to get some as well. I just don't know how much that gives. I don't usually do that, so it may be way better than this. I'm not sure. Block of redstone and 5,000 LP in here. Let's heal up a little bit. And we've got enough in there, so let's drop that in there. And that will give us the apprentice blood orb. I don't think there's any reason to keep the weaker blood orbs. They don't really do anything for you as far as I know. You can also, what I did right then was right click with it. It claims it as mine, but it also stores LP into my personal LP network, which is different than what's in the altar here. And the blood magic's a really cool mod. There's a lot of things you can do in it. You can get sort of flight. It's different sigils do different things. You can create lava, water, ethereal bridges, all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm trying to think of all the different things you can do. You can do a lot with it. It's a very, very useful and powerful mod. But this is what we needed in order to upgrade these runes. So let's grab them again. And see about doing that. Self-sacrifice. There we go. Much better. And like I said before, these corner ones are required for it to be a tier 2. However, if you put any kind of different rune here, they don't actually function, so there's no need. Just leave it as the blank runes. It's fine. Now, let's see, there's 2,000 in there exactly. I'm going to click it once. 2280. So we get an extra 20 per rune that I have here. So instead of just getting 200, I'm getting 280. That's pretty good. It's going to allow me to fill this thing up much faster. Let's not kill ourselves. And then this can do 10 blank slates at a time from full capacity. Let's come down here. Let's repair. We've made a mess. Let's just fix things up and then pick these up. And everything that I pick up is going into the system because I have my magnet card turned on right now, which puts things into there, which is fine with me because I can just come and grab it back out. And I know this one and this one because obviously I only have one limited item filter, but The basic item filter that's not stacking is the one that is already programmed how I want it. So let's reset everything up. Need a crate there. Crate there. I mean, you can put them on the corners too. I'm just, for logical flow, I put it like that. But you can put the crate there. These things will bend. And we're going to do insert. You're going to get the basic item filter always active on the extract. And you're going to be insert, and you get the limited item filter on the insert side again, so that we're getting exactly what we want. And I want 40 in there. Always active. Start moving it. And then I just need to sit here and make sure that we get enough LP in this to make all of them and upgrade the altar here. And I will be right back. And we're back. And I have completed the tier 3 altar. You'll see all of the runes all the way around. Now, the runes of capacity, I went ahead and crafted. You need 25,000. 25,000, yes, is the internal capacity required to make the magician's orb out of the block of gold, and you get 2,000 extra capacity per rune of capacity that you add. So I went around and I added 8 of them in, which gives you 16,000 more on top of the internal 10,000 it can hold. So now I have 26,000, and I only need 25,000. I also added in more of the self-sacrifice runes on the tier 3 ring because I needed it, as many as I was processing, because the runes of capacity require the imbued slate, which is 5,000 LP to go from the reinforced up to the imbued. It's 2,000 to get to that, and 1,000 to get to the original. So it's 8,000 LP to make one imbued slate. Oh, and it gets more than that. Don't you worry. But right now, this is the only one we need to get to in order to get a block that I want. So I'm going to hit that. Oops. Silly me. Never active. Don't take that out of there. I'm going to put that back in and let it do its thing. I added in some speed extract upgrades into our conduits here, so they'll take out faster and input faster so that there's zero loss, because sometimes what it was doing is when I wanted a specific slate, it would start processing the next one and use a little bit of LP before it took out the one that I have in the filter to take out. So I was having a little bit of LP loss. I went ahead and added in the extract speed upgrades, and it moves much quicker now, and that's no longer an issue. But just make sure when you do things, have things automated, that you remember to turn it off when you want to do something manually like this. And that is just destroying all of our LP. 25,000, that's a lot. But it's going to give us, was it the Magician's Blood Orb? I believe it's the Magician's Blood Orb, which is the one that we're looking for. Yes. I'll go ahead and bind it to me. But what I'm curious about, well, not what I'm curious about, what I want is this. I want the path block, but not the brick version. Hold on, let's sleep. I don't know why I came down here to sleep. I just, this is where I usually come, right over here. It's my safety spot. But what we do is we take a little bit of stone and you make this, and then I think if you just craft these, it becomes this right here, the tiled stone path. And I really like using, let's get rid of that. Whoop, where'd it go? Okay. In my hand, the painting machine, and let's paint slabs like this. And the reason for is I feel like this makes a really good roof texture for the style that I'm going for. I really like that. All the work we did today was to get one block type. Not exactly. We are going to be using blood magic in the future for more things, but it is because I really like this as a kind of like ceiling tile texture. I think it's going to look really good. Concrete floor, that ceiling tile, and then our, what is it called? Factory block, I believe is what it's called. I don't have any on me. Factory block, yes. For the walls, factory blocks, and different styles, different versions of it, not just all this one blanket's texture. But that's going to be it for today's episode. We achieved what I wanted to achieve. We have the block type that I want. It was a lot of work to get to, but I only needed one. I can paint everything else with the painting machine to get what I want. And I am quite happy to have that. And I will start working on figuring out where exactly in that mountain we're going to build and how we're going to want it to look, overlooking our beautiful mine colony here. But if you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you all next time.